Right, another type of sand dunes are called longitudinal sand dunes. All of the dunes we've talked about so far are formed when wind blows in a single direction. But we know that wind doesn't always blow in a single direction, right? The wind is variable, it changes direction. So anytime you get two opposing directions of wind, then you can get longitudinal dunes. These are aligned with the wind and they have two slip faces. Two slip faces meaning that both sides of the dune are equally steep. They're both the cascading sides of that dune. So again, you might be asking yourself, well, how do I tell the difference between a transverse dune and a longitudinal dune if they are both form as linear dune ridges? Well, again, you have to look at the shape of the dune, the cross-sectional profile of the dune. The longitudinal dune will be symmetric on both sides, right? It'll have two slip faces because wind is coming at it from both directions. Longitudinal dunes often tend to be more symmetrical and straighter. Transverse dunes, these are the ones that are formed by a single wind direction. So they are going to have that ramp side and the steeper slope face. And yes, they are still straight, but they're going to be a little wigglier, a little wavier, and not be as linearly continuous. All right, finally, the last dune we're going to talk about is when wind comes in, not from one, not from two, but multiple directions all at once. And when the wind comes in from multiple directions all at once, the sand is just going to be built up higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, creating a very tall dune with lots of different faces. And often they kind of look like stars. So this is what we call a star dune. Now we have talked about individual dunes, individual types of dunes, but we know that deserts aren't just formed from individual dunes, they're actually formed from a wide field of dunes, and we call these sand seas. So these are large regions, think greater than 125 square kilometers of windblown sand. They have a lot of very large dunes, sand covers over 20% of the surface, and you're probably going to see many different types of sand dunes.